You know what time it is. It's time to do some core and some I was about to say core and abdominals. I meant core and neck, or you could just say core, because I think the neck is part of the core. This is our core. Okay, anyway, we're already set up for the weight plate version of our ab wheel. We gotta warm it up and do our standing version. We'll get to that. If you've been paying attention thus far. But yes, it's a very simple but effective core day. And it pretty much is comprised of an ab wheel, leg raises, some neck curls, and a little isometric hold for the neck. Oh. So of course you don't gotta follow this exactly or at all, but it can give you a little reference to work with. Oh. And full disclosure, I've had a hard time forming coherent sentences all day, so bear with me. That's why my abs are always sore, man. It's crazy. And we only do, in total, 5 working sets for the abs today and 4 working sets for the neck. All I've got is this big towel here to pad my head for these neck curls. It's crazy, I used to do these workouts with a GoPro. And I say that because, I mean, you couldn't see the actual exercises half the time. It was mostly for like simplicity, just to take you along for the ride. But I think it's better doing the classic tripod camera setup. 45 here for the first warm-up, and then we'll do one more warm-up. Oh, probably around 60 pounds. And do our working set at 70 working sets, plural. And man, I've been so freaking tired all day. Didn't even really sleep all that badly or anything. But yeah, man. We just had our daylight savings adjustment, but it was the good version where you gain an hour. But we're also, losing sunlight, all that good fun stuff. Anywho, let's do our first standing ab wheel. Make sure we did a little bit of a hip loosener before I started rolling, but it's also most likely going to do a little cardio after all this, but I won't take you for that. But time is of the essence, man. I gotta stop jabbering. Look at that catch. Back popped. Get it, come on. Oh, come on. Oh my God. Oh, okay, that's it. Ow. Happy with that. Oh God. If you go into your workouts with intensity in mind, you don't have to do as many sets. You shouldn't do as many sets. You can't do as many sets. It's party time. No, actually not yet, no. One more warm-up, then it's party time. Do not skip your freaking warm-ups. Drives me crazy when people do that. It's like you don't care about training that much if you skip your warm-ups. Like, sure, it takes some time, but like, you're playing with fire. If we get injured, we can't even train anymore, then you're really gonna be waiting. Like, yeah, I could go right into my top set of 70. But you know what? I'm leaving myself open to injury. A, most important point. And B, I'm also more than likely not going to get as much out of the set because I'm not going to be able to bring as much. You're shocking your body a little too much, throwing yourself right in. If the weight is truly challenging and you throw yourself into that challenging set without preparing yourself for it with some lighter weights leading up, you're just a goofball. We said last time that we're gonna try a 45-pound plate this week. And you see I'm not lying? That's a 45 right there. And I was feeling really tired, but funny thing is, you start working out, already I feel a little more alive. Oh yeah. Nice. Oh. I don't think I was going to be getting back up after free. Oh, a little sweet towel. Oh. Okay. God damn, this towel is not being my friend. Oh, wow. Oh, God. Hardcore. Probably leaving some indents on my forehead from that towel. All right, one more of each. And we head upstairs. Getting warm. Warm. All right, can I match those 4 reps from round 1? One thing to keep in mind too, when you have multiple exercises in the workout is if you make improvements on like the first of, okay, if it's an exercise, is that, okay, using the ab wheel as an example. I did the standing ab wheel and I improved on that set compared to previous weeks. And I'm also increasing the weight on this weighted one, so that kind of changes what I'm getting at here. But bottom line is, let's say I kept this weight the same as last week, and I improved on my standing ab wheel, and I didn't improve on these weighted kneeling ab wheels, I still improved overall. So just because you don't improve on everything doesn't mean you're not improving in total. I mean, maybe that was already obvious, but I don't know, working with enough clients, you start to realize that that's not fully understood. And again, I'm having a hard time forming coherent sentences, so maybe that didn't make sense, but I hope it did. Yeah. All right. Come on. Whoa! Wow, okay, a little more back arching than I wanted, but forced that last one out. That was rough on the old forehead. Maybe I'm gonna use my sweatshirt. A little smoother. Oh, it's dark in here. So what I'm essentially doing is resting the weight in my hands as much as possible. Like I'm obviously grabbing on and it's giving some level of assist just naturally. It's kind of hard to avoid, but I'm really trying to put as much of that weight into my neck as possible. We're going to the leg raises first because we just did the neck downstairs. I think it's ridiculous that there's some people who think you don't need to directly train your abs. And that can get into a whole conversation about just isolating a muscle in general. I don't understand the hate towards that. There are some people who are just such purists for compound movements. And it's like, compound movements are great. And if it's like you only have one option, yeah, do compound movements. But isolating is not only a way to make your movements more targeted, which that's not a consideration a lot of the people who criticize isolation are considering, but because like, you know, okay, a squat, it trains most of the muscles in your lower half, okay? So to say that's all you'd ever need for your quads is ridiculous when a leg extension exists, because that focuses the quads. You know, perhaps you're somebody who's not very quad dominant in a squat, and therefore you're never gonna get the most out of your quads. But anyway, I feel like I was gonna make another point, but the only way you're gonna develop a muscle to its maximum capabilities is by including some isolation. It just is. Compounds are more functional, more time efficient, yes, but if you really wanna maximize your abilities, you're gonna need to isolate. Abs are already pretty toasted, but give them a little more, a little extra. All right. All right, good stuff. Already set up our little neck fella here. I don't have a lot of room. There we go. I'm probably gonna do away with this one eventually, or obviously all these will be done away with eventually, but I mean, sooner than some of the others. It's not that I don't like it per se, but it's kind of hard to progress other than just, you know, continuing to add time. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I felt the neck starting to bend a bit. And that's my cue to skidoo. Okay, one more of each. My God. I think that's it. And of course, this one trains more than just our neck. We're also getting a lot of that posterior, and you know, some of the, a lot's going on. Basically, total core involvement here. Okay. Yeah, that's it. I think I know what I'll swap that one with. But thanks for joining for this quick little thing. As always, workout doesn't necessarily need to be long to be worth doing. Any workout's worth doing, really. Move that body, challenge that body, and you'll be a better person for it. Inside and out, literally. All right, thank you.